So this video is important. I have important information here. Keep in mind that I'm targeted. They're changing the sound of my voice. They're trying to confuse things. I actually used to work at that Kaiser Hospital. And a lot of significant events in my life happened at that hospital. I'm the top martial artist, and I've proven that with my top martial arts challenge that's been going since 2013. And I'm being persecuted because I've proven definitively that I'm the idea that Christ in popular culture returning is superimposed. And before you think that I'm wrong, martial is marital scrambled, right? In Revelation 19 it says the heavenly warrior defeats the beast. The heavenly warrior defeats the beast. Right? It's a martial arts story, right? Exodus 15:3, the Lord is the word, the Lord is his name. Well, let me focus on this thing here. So I've been talking about how coronavirus is very much connected to me, right? I've been talking about, in my top martial arts challenge, in fact, I brought up the Kaiser, okay, in the annotations on the original video. I think it might still be there in the comments or in the description. I brought up how they enforce white social norms, how they ripped off my family for $2 million. And if not in that video, in videos around that time, okay? And there was 2 people shot there, okay? There's also me and another family member used to work there. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. My father was a brain surgeon that had a lawsuit against Kaiser for $2 million. He ended up losing like maybe a couple $100,000 because he lost the lawsuit. I had to pay the lawyer and whatever else. They offered to settle for like $200,000 or $300,000, and he refused, and they lost the case. And I think that we kind of took it as that they bribed the judge with the money. Anyway, so the Coronado Avenue connects to the coronavirus. Because I've been saying for years the coronavirus is a play on words for Koron A virus. On is Ayunu. In Genesis 41:45, you look at the footnotes on Bible Gateway, it will say, the On is Heliopolis, also known as Ayunu, right? You have to kind of research that, but just focus on the On in Heliopolis, right? Where Joseph was given Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, the high priest of Ra. So coronavirus, right? Kor, On, right? The core of falcon, Royal African falcon martial art order, right? The falcon depiction of Ra, the sun depiction of Ra, and the falcon depiction of the solar deity Horus, who's the archetype of Pharaoh. Okay, so coronavirus. Now, for those of you who don't understand that, that's okay, because corona also means crown, right? And I'm the king of kings. Now, keep in mind, I'm taken very seriously about this, very serious. Not like I'm someone who just says this. I'm a brain surgeon's son. When a brain surgeon's son, who's the son of 2 doctors, makes this claim, people take them seriously. The churches take me seriously. The CIA, the government, okay, the mosques, the synagogues, they know that's a serious argument. And I have a top martial arts challenge, right? And for those of you who think it's not serious, I ask you this question. David's victory over Goliath, was it from God or was it from man? And why do you think I'm asking you that? David, D. So when you look at what took place there, okay, it almost like implicates me. I had nothing to do with that shooting. I didn't tell someone to do that. But I've said many harsh things about Kaiser over the years. And there's a lot of people who respect me, and a lot of people who hate me, and a lot of people I don't know what they feel about me out there, all over the world. It is a very bad idea to do me wrong. It's a very, very bad idea to shun me. The word shun is like the word sun, right? You see, the sun is the symbol of God and the bridegroom in Psalm 19. Okay, look at Psalm 19, read the first 10 verses or so, you'll see what I'm saying. So it's pretty straightforward here. The connections are sound. Now, I don't want to make this video too long. I know the sound quality is poor. They use various technologies on me. I have 23 witnesses on record, the psychological operation against me. Okay. Now, just the other day, I was talking about that area. Okay, and Big Brother has me under 24-hour surveillance. I can go on and on about the connections to this here. Okay. It's almost like I don't know where to start because I made lots and lots of videos. I made 19,000 videos since August 31st, 2009, in the last 17 years. So, there's a lot of connections here. I can tell you with certainty that a lot of this has to do with the fact that females shun me historically. I haven't had a date in 8 years. Okay, it's not like if some hot chick dates me, all the problems go away. It's the deeper implications of that. Okay, so we look at the word foundation, found, alpha shun. Emancipation Proclamation, proclaim a shun. Plantation, plant, alpha, shun. Consideration, consider, alpha, shun. Estimate, right? Has the word mate in it. The consequences for the false conceptions of consent, right? The consequences, and the consent. And San Jose is one of the most expensive places in the country, and they were condescending. And because of the they're descending in hell, right? Rhyme and reason. Excuse me, not rhyme and reason. I meant these magic spells. I'm kind of being fumed here, what have you. But for those of you who have your doubts, put it in the comments. I can clarify that. It's a lot easier for me to comment than it is for me to speak. Okay? And it's been like this for a long time because they fumed and poisoned me for years. Again, with 23 witnesses on record. I can tell you with certainty, as someone who's worked at that place. And so, I forgot. The other day I brought up, how the police came to my house years ago. And, some of the people who responded to that were the Santa Clara County sheriffs, right? And so the Santa Clara County, I posted a video it was like yesterday or the day before, with the Santa Clara County sheriffs in the picture. So I kind of lost my train of thought there. Let me wrap this up by saying that one of my first responses is that I don't give a damn about what happens to San Jose. I'm not very happy that they shunned me to the point where I am now living in Michigan, okay, in the Detroit area. Society basically said that they don't care that my father was a brain surgeon humanitarian there for 45 years. They ran a psychological operation against me. The community didn't help me out, even though I'm the son of God. All those churches in California, all those churches in America, 380,000 of them, 20,000 denominations, they all turned their back on me, and they still turn their back on me. And I'm shunned. And they basically said, go live with the black people in Michigan. Where I live now is 70% black. Okay, that is outrageous. They said, leave the area where people are more healthy, women tend to be more attractive, females, because they're not women, they shun Jesus. I mean, that's pathetic. And they said, go live with black people. They don't care that I'm part black, that America's not supposed to be racist, that San Jose is supposed to be one of the least racist places. They scrambled my whole life to keep me from attractive dates, to try to rub it in my face as a brain surgeon son, as the son of God, first and foremost. Think about that. How would you feel if you're me? All those attractive Asian chicks and Hispanic chicks. There's about 2% black or so. Most of them aren't that attractive. And some Ethiopian chicks were kind of cute. And every once in a while an African American chick or whoever else. But the white community very much was like, they bent over backwards to kind of keep me from them. And part of the psyop was having attractive black females date white people there. Okay? And the governing class is best described as a bunch of white, Jewish, and LGBT supremacists. So these people are very sick people. Very sick. If we look at the, Revelation, right? Reveal, alpha, shun. The word deal is lead scrambled. They made a deal with the devil. They're idolaters that date with the scale of Greco-Roman paganism, Western paganism, and whatever else, right? False conceptions of Christianity. They shun me, even though people get married in church, okay? They shun me, even though I'm the bridegroom. They shun me. Marital is marital, scrambled, and I, Christ, and the bridegroom. But they shun me because they're scum. Now, California is a play on words for CAC, alpha. And Kali is also a Hindu deity, right? Okay, that's the story for another day. The symbol of California is the bear. And in the Bible it says that the day of the Lord will be like they're running away from a lion only to run into a charging bear. And better to beat a bear robbed of her cubs than a fool bent on folly. So they're fools bent on folly who are punishing each other, who gentrified the Son of God out. And Santa Clara County, right? Satan, clear Alpha County, and they quote unquote cleared me out of there. Why? Because America and the world is saying, give us Barabbas, Bar the father, Bar Abba. Abraham, or Ham, Abba, and Abra are connected. It's another way of saying father. Father Ham. If you look up what they say father of many nations, what have you, right? Another way to interpret his name is the spiritual, the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order is an order of Ham. It's a black African order. But that's the story for another day for those of you who aren't mature enough to understand why I'm right about that. That you know them by their fruit, not by your interpretation of the Bible. The Bible's full of parables. For those of you who doubt that, see Proverbs chapter 1, where it tells you, right, verses 1 through 7, that Proverbs is to help you understand the riddles, the parables, and the sayings of the wise. The whole Bible is like a coded message. Look at Genesis. Why does it start that way? The reader doesn't know what the heck they're saying, okay, because it's coded. And what does God expect you to do if you don't know what it's saying and every church is corrupt kind of thing? To look for righteousness, to remove the log from your own eye, to use your head, to keep the golden rule, do unto others you would have them do unto you. That sums up the law and the prophets, to love God with all your heart, and not to shun the top martial arts ever possible. Who's the only one who's truly uncontrolled opposition. Now, as your loved ones are dying over there in San Jose and Santa Clara County, I want you to ask yourselves very carefully, because this situation is more serious than the question I'm going to ask you. Do you think they deserve to go to heaven after you betrayed me as a county, and you're all in the various cultures and groups and churches and philosophies and groupings of people who have the spirit of those who directly betrayed me? Do you think that your loved ones deserve to go to heaven after that? Do you think your offspring do? When you kept me from a suitable helper. When in Genesis says it's not good for him to be alone. Let me make him a suitable helper. Where gays are harassing me, they're trying to get me to settle. They're harassing me in a racist way too. Do you think you deserve to go to heaven? Proverbs 18:9 is the answer to that. One who slackens his work is brother to one who destroys. You are your own destroyers, your own worst enemies. And woe to you, destroyer, as it says, when you are done destroying each other, your souls will be destroyed. And I'll be at God's right hand one day watching it happen, and I don't feel sorry for you. Because you knew not to obey the state. You knew not to be part of cultures that gentrify Christ on some profound level that's straightforward to you. Profound, proof, pro-of. But you're still conforming and paying all that money to live in the city that betrayed Christ. Curses on San Jose and you, Capernaum, and you, Chorazin. And you, Capernaum, will you be lifted to the heavens? No, you'll go down to Hades. And you, San Jose, in Santa Clara County, where Christ was sent right to you. And what did you do? Outside the gates are the cowardly, so what did you do? The word coward is a plain word for a crowd. You followed Gog and Magog. You followed Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. You followed the crowd. And so when you're praying to God on your deathbeds, give me one reason that my stance shouldn't be look at you now instead of receiving your prayers.